My name is Rachel Robbins-Toon, and I've been teaching for 17 years. And my first 4 years were in Detroit Public Schools because I went into education to teach first grade in the inner city. This is my classroom in my student teaching year at Detroit Open. This was more on the west side, so they didn't have bars on the windows, but it was still kind of underkept.
I've watched to some extent some of the novices that I'm working with who are preparing to be teachers, and they're walking into pretty challenging situations.
They had music once a week for half an hour, and they had gym once a week for half an hour, and that was their only special classes. There was no library in the school, so the books that I provided on a little cart in my room were their only exposure to trade books.
I think that people recognize that there are achievement gaps, but I don't think that they recognize that there are a lot of other things that contribute to the gap. Like there is a resource gap, so that some districts have tremendous resources and others don't.
You had to be savvy as a teacher to distribute the resources that you were provided with in the best way possible, but there really wasn't much to work with.
Teachers and educators just do a tremendous job of trying to overcome those kinds of issues, but there's much more to it than just what happens in the classroom.
I think that teachers come into that and they are somewhat overwhelmed by the situations that they face.
I was constantly stressed, so stressed, and the challenges and the lack of support and everything, it wore me down. In 4 years I was done. I was going to be there forever, and that was devastating. And then so I had all this terrible guilt, for I felt like I totally sold out when I came to Ann Arbor. Totally. I just tail between my legs, like I can't, I thought failed.
I think we lose a lot of teachers from that situation, that they come up against it. They don't feel like they have any efficacy as a teacher. They feel like they can't do it, that they don't have enough support to be able to do it, and they give up. And so that's part of the explanation I would make of the turnover that people have. They don't have enough support to do this well.
I think it's really critical that you can establish a comfort level amongst the staff, so the staff feels good about being where they are. It can't be a case of them dreading, coming to the building. And that in turn allows them to positively impact the young people that they're working with.
You can have a very excellent teacher who is put into a situation where there are very few supports, and that person will not be able to make the same kind of headway with kids.
A school is only as good as the consistency that they can create. And so when you have high turnover, then you're constantly trying to find that balance of consistency.
I've been in Ann Arbor Public Schools for so many years now, and I start to see them start to suffer in little ways, the way that I saw the people in Detroit suffer all those years ago. They start to have to make some of those hard decisions that we were making in Detroit right here. The fact that we are having to make more of these hard choices between whether or not we have art for our kids, or sports, or music, or a book for every kid, or do we just need a book for every other kid, those kinds of things.
People are imagining that there are programs and practices that can virtually implement themselves or supplement the inadequacies of a situation where teachers are not staying. If you think that you can replace a highly trained expert teacher with someone who is a novice in a computer program, that's a pretty naive conception. That's not actually something that is working anywhere in the country.
We need to have our best, most innovative teachers teaching those kids who struggle.
The inherent strength and resilience that I saw in the majority of the kids in Detroit Public Schools is one of the things that I still think about all the time when I think back to my experience. One of the things that I learned early on is to make my classroom a place where you walk through that door and that outside world is gone for a little while, and in here we're safe and we're happy and you're loved and cared for, and you are so brilliant. I was going to be there forever. That was what I wanted to do with my life. and I lasted 4 years.